Hi, everybody. My name is Dr. Colleen Sierra. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist and the founder and executive director of Sierra Center for Behavioral Health. Glad to have you with me here today. Today, I wanted to talk to you about something called emotional reasoning. Emotional reasoning is a really human thing to do, but it can be really dangerous when it comes to the decisions that we make when we're in a place of emotional reasoning. So I want to define what it is for you, tell you how you can easily identify that it's happening, and give you just a couple of strategies to work through it and wind up coming up with a solution that is informed by your emotions, but also is informed by the rational part of your brain. So let's get into this, okay? Emotional reasoning is basically because I feel like something is so, it makes it so. And because of that, I act as though it's also true. So as Leon Seltzer, who is a PhD from Psychology Today, states, this is to acutely feel the reality of something without it having any basis in fact. Okay? So some general examples of this include that I think many of us can identify with. We feel fat even though our doctors and friends are assuring us that we're of normal weight, but we still feel fat. You feel incredibly guilty, even though, so you assume you must have done something wrong, even though there's absolutely no evidence that that's the case. You feel really jealous in your relationship and are always accusing your partner of infidelity, even though there's no evidence to suggest they've been unfaithful. Okay, so you get the idea. Here are some examples that apply right here and right now. You feel really angry about needing to wear a mask and being quarantined and follow safety guidelines because of COVID. So you act as though COVID doesn't exist. You feel really anxious about COVID and you're convinced that you're going to get it and die if you leave the house. And so you've basically not left the house at all, even though we have plenty of good data right now that's helping us understand where the middle ground is and how to make safe choices. You feel like you're a really loving, good person, and so therefore you can't possibly be a racist. Because of this, you get really angry and upset when somebody suggests that that's what's going on. Okay. Now, emotional reasoning is unavoidable. It's just our biology. So what happens is that when we get really angry or really scared, our amygdala, which is kind of the emotional epicenter of our brain, our amygdala takes over. It gets in the driver's seat. And rationality and the part of our brain that's responsible for rationality, our frontal lobe, it goes offline. So we're prone to making bad choices when we're in a really emotional, acutely emotional state. Okay, so that makes sense. It's inevitable. But what's not inevitable is staying stuck there, right? We're all going to have moments. It's our biology. But it's our responsibility to recognize that that's what's happening and get out of that moment, okay? So once we realize that our brain has been hijacked with all these intense chemical reactions due to feeling threatened or feeling angry or sad or really scared, we need to do two things primarily. We need to re-regulate our nervous system, okay? And this isn't hard. It just takes a little bit of practice. So you can do this by focusing on taking very low, slow belly breaths, bringing the air all the way into your belly, making your belly rise. And then when you exhale, your belly should fall. So doing that for 5 to 10 minutes, profound effect on our physiology and the chemicals swirling around in our brain and our blood. So that's something you can do. You can take a walk in nature. Tons of good data about healing, how healing nature is. So go and take a walk. You can meditate. There's all these things that you can do, right? The point is we need to re-regulate our nervous system so that we can get our frontal lobe back online and get our amygdala out of the driver's seat. We want it in the co-captain position. Maybe sometimes it's better to have it in the back seat. We don't want it in the trunk. Our emotions are helpful for us. They are good data, but our emotions cannot be in the driver's seat because we make very bad decisions when our emotions are in the driver's seat. Okay, so once our nervous system is back to normal and our frontal lobe is back online, you can ask yourself just two important questions, okay? What are the facts that support my feelings? And the opposite of that, or what are the facts that don't support my feelings? And what do experts have to say about the subject matter? That's it. And here's something that you should just observe about yourself. If you're not willing to listen to facts, or you're not willing to listen to experts, and you're only basing, your thoughts and behavior based on how you feel, you're engaging in emotional reasoning, okay? Which, again, there's no shame. We all have that happen. Sorry, I'm getting all these notifications. We all have that happening. But here's the thing, emotional reasoning can be dangerous. At the very least, it can cause us to lash out to people we love, to withdraw from relationships that are perfectly healthy. Worst case scenario is really what we're seeing right now around the country, where governors and mayors and political figures are not making decisions that would quite literally save thousands of lives, where white people are doing even more harm to Black, Indigenous people of color by refusing to acknowledge that they might have unconscious biases that they're not aware of. So both of these things are quite literally killing lots and lots and lots of people all over our country. This is a really emotional reasoning is responsible for some of this. There are lots of other things that are responsible for it, but emotional reasoning has a part in this. So I beg of you, when you are feeling really angry or really scared, instead of acting from that really emotional place, calm down, then actually think with an open mind and an open heart. Something to think about. Thanks.